In the late 90s and early 2000s, Freddie Prinze Jr. was the undisputed king of teen rom-com. I mean, Heath Ledger was around at that time as well, but we'll just forget about that for now, shall we? Between his breakout in I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I can only imagine he went to believing it was some sort of threat of blackmail and just a blackmail attempt, before being utterly relieved to discover it was an audition.
That's not the way it goes.
And then following that, he went on to star as the ultimate high school heartthrob in She's All That. These films, coupled with his role as Fred in the 2 Scooby-Doo films, and he had the shittest set of movie Infinity Stones ever. But then at the peak of his powers, he told Hollywood, "You stink," and peaced out.
Who would do such stupidity?
And the reason wasn't for a lack of offers or Harvey Weinstein. It was a series of deliberate and sometimes surprising life choices. So with all of that being said, today we're looking at Freddie Prinze Jr. and why he walked away from the stardom for other avenues. Most people know Freddie Prinze Jr. as Freddie from the live-action Scooby-Doo films. Yeah, a lot of us remember those films fondly from our childhoods. And to those of you who are ultimately too young to even know what I'm talking about here, shut up. But his story doesn't start with fame. It unfortunately starts with a bit of tragedy. His father, Freddie Prinze Sr., was the biggest star in the world for a moment. He was the lead in Chico and the Man, which was a sitcom from back in the day.
Ave Maria Purissima. Hey, Joel, son of a gun, what have you been up to?
Now, he really was seen as a bit of a legend, but like a legend in the actual sense, not in the sense of how your mate might be a legend for trying to backflip at a party, but it just goes horrifically wrong, and they almost end up paralytic for landing so wrong. No, this man was an actual legend. But in 1977, he passed away in awful circumstances, and Freddie was only 10 months old at the time. Now, just quickly covering this, it was reported to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound that was accidental. There is some debate about whether it was intentional or not, but unfortunately, Prinze Sr. was known to be suffering from depression at the time and had some substance abuse issues. After such a tragedy, Freddie's mom moved out to New Mexico to get away from all of the attention, and that's ultimately where he was raised. I mean, could you imagine it? Growing up in New Mexico, away from all the cameras, but still being told by the world that your father was a legend constantly. Now, I could imagine that being a bit difficult. It would just be a nightmare, wouldn't it? Freddie, he didn't want to grow up to be a star, which of course, thinking about that, would be absolutely ridiculous. However, he didn't care for being an actor either. He did only ever do the odd play in his school years, but that was about it. No, Freddie instead grew up doing martial arts. He did Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, and he also wanted to be a civil engineer at one stage. I don't think he ever considered being a rude one, but it doesn't say from the research that I've got, so I'm not entirely too sure. However, one day, Neil Patrick Harris visited his school and did a talk on all the wonders of the world of acting. Yeah, he spoke about how sick it was and all the parties and bragging about how many cars and hoes he's got and all that cool stuff. And once he finished bragging to all of these infants, Freddie decided, that sounds well sick, lad, get me in there. From there, he moved to LA in 1994 and he focused on an acting career for the first couple of years. And then eventually he hit it big in 1997 with his role as Ray Bonson in I Know What You Did Last Summer. And it was here that he met Sarah Michelle Gellar, who later went on to be his wife as they got married. When they met for the first time though, it said Freddie asked Sarah, "Are you one of them hoes my mate Neil was talking about?" And just like that, they fell in love.
It's open to interpretation.
No, in all seriousness, he met Sarah and they became good friends at first. Sarah didn't have a driver's license at the time, so Freddie, seemingly the simp of Hollywood, became her chauffeur. He'll drive her to the set, and during this time they'll talk about life, and they built a foundation of friendship that most Hollywood couples never get because they've already sold their souls to the Hollywood underlords by this point anyway. And then came 1999 with She's All That, which is probably when he met Matthew Lillard, the man known for Scream, Without a Paddle, before they went on to do Scooby-Doo together a little later down the line. This stage in his career, Freddie found he was suddenly the king of rom-coms.
So, you want to go to the beach?
No.
But behind the scenes, Freddie struggled with the heartthrob label, and he hated the paparazzi nearly as much as Tobey Maguire. He hated the fake industry parties, and he thought to himself, Neil lied to me, and was actually quoted as saying, fucking raging. But this was just how he wanted to live his life anyway. While other stars were out at the clubs, Freddie was at home playing video games and cooking. Like a nerd. I mean, to be fair, it's probably for the best, as I'm fairly certain the Diddy parties would have been at their peak during this time. So, you know, like I say, it's probably for the best.
I need a hug.
Yeah, Freddie has actually said that the fame felt like a suit that didn't fit. Like a dwarf in Shaq O'Neal's pants, if you would. He was the most popular guy in the world, but he just couldn't wait to stop being him. Yeah, in 2002, the world got the live-action Scooby-Doo. This movie, as I mentioned earlier, is now a cult classic, but the production was a complete mess. The original script by James Gunn was an R-rated comedy. There were drug references, there were these rude jokes about Velma and Daphne, and it was edgy. But in the end, we were edged. The studio got scared and chopped it into a PG kids movie, and Freddie was said to be famously frustrated. And I don't mean his frustration for this particular incident was well known. I mean every emotion and feeling he had at that point in his life just always started with the word famously. That's just how big he was. He had to wear a blonde wig that he hated, and he felt the movie he signed up for was stolen from him due to the changes. The silver lining though? Of course he was doing it with Sarah. They'd married in 2002, and their chemistry on screen was the only thing that kept that movie grounded. I mean, there's that. There's obviously Matthew Lillard's performance, and you know, I'll be honest, his chemistry with Scooby was literally top tier. And what was he doing that to? Some bloke in like some big green suit and maybe a tennis ball on his head. So, you decide.
Scooby-Doo, what are you doing, man? Like this is no time to... Like there is a ghost right behind me, isn't there?
Skipping forward though, past the second Scooby film, some TV appearances, and the birth of his first child, we get to the important stuff and the moment that changed everything. In 2010, Freddie joined the cast of 24. He thought it was his big adult comeback. Instead, it was his big adult don't come back. Yeah? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Freddie has been brutally honest about his time working with Kiefer Sutherland. He famously, he's still massive, told ABC News that Kiefer was the most unprofessional guy in the world, and I've seen James Corden try. And he claimed he had to take his shoes off to act next to him because Kiefer was shorter and the producers wanted him to look taller. I'll just mention it now, no, Quentin Tarantino was not involved in any way in 24, so let's just get that clear. Freddie though, genuinely, he was so disgusted by the experience that he basically quit acting. He told his agent, I'm done, and went on to say, I think this 24 show and this Kiefer bloke are proper shoddy, and it's all proper sucks. Yeah, direct quote there. He walked away from millions of dollars because he realised that his peace of mind was worth more than a credit on a hit show. And he's also probably got millions already, otherwise you don't walk away from millions, do you? No. But anyway, what does a retired heartthrob do? Your mum.
Shockingly, Daphne's been captured again.
But after that, Freddie went back to his roots. Before he was ever involved in Hollywood, Freddie had actually gone to culinary school, and he decided that's where he wanted to set his sights next. In 2016, he released Back to the Kitchen, a book title that was not inspired by a conversation he had with his wife. But this was not his only venture. His heart was also in his ring, which at first listening sounds like a disgusting and horrific medical condition. But no, he went on to work with Vince McMahon at the WWE, not to wrestle, but to lead the creative team. He was the guy behind the scenes helping legends like Jeff Hardy find their voice.
And if that's not enough for you, I don't know if you've heard, but tonight marks the return of a little group known as D-Generation X!
And then after this, separate to the WWE, he found a role as Kanan Jarrus, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Star Wars Rebels. And you know, I mean, how cool is this? He became a Jedi, which is something actually that Star Wars fans came to love, you know, as a character.
I don't feel like discussing it. It was at the end of the war.
So ultimately, with all of that being said, leading up to present day, Freddie Prinze Jr. seems very happy. He's a dad, a husband, a cook, and a wrestling nerd doing commentary and stuff. In July 2025, the Prince returned in the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is the sequel to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, which is also a sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's good to see Hollywood still keeping things original. The film got a mixed reception, to which all I can say is rut-row. And that's all I've got for you today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Ta-ra.